I'm driving. It was September 23rd, 1996, 6 months to the day before I was allowed to drive. She told me it was high time I learned how to do it. My mother wasn't too happy about that, but I was thrilled, and I'll always remember it. I also loved her feisty comments. For those of you who know her well, feisty is a good adjective for her. Without getting too deep into the details, I was the salutatorian at my high school amidst a bit of controversy. When I went on stage to receive the award, she shouted, "You're number one." It was loud enough to get picked up at the mic, and she certainly didn't care. But on the other end of the spectrum, I remember her being particularly gifted at providing comfort. She was the one who told me about the two biggest tragedies in my teen years. The first, terminal illness of my grandfather, and the second, the devastating climate of family business. A hug from Graham and her calming voice made those horrible moments just a little less heartbreaking. However, the thing about Graham that sticks out to me the most was her ability to adapt to a changing world. Despite raising her boys to go to college and her daughter to build a family, she became an avid believer in gender equality. Rather than be intimidated by technology, she embraced it. In fact, watching her navigate a cell phone was evidence enough of that. And though she never mastered computers, she always insisted that we all master computers because they were the future, and she was right. But to me, her most impressive evolution centered around the belief that love and devotion trump everything. I saw this firsthand when I brought Sarah to meet Graham for the first time. I was not sure how Graham would react to our Christian-Jewish interfaith relationship, as I had heard stories as they related to her own children when Catholic-Protestant mixes created challenges. She embraced Sarah as warmly as I could have ever hoped. When we moved in together prior to being married, I was again disappointed about disappointing Brent. Her exact words, and these were words to Sarah. Picture the moment. Sarah, we get together, we're not married, I'm sorry. Her words to Sarah, "You have to try it before you buy it." I was stunned. So a little lecture later, I was amazed by that comment. So she loved Sarah like her own great-granddaughter, and I'm extremely grateful for that. When I met it all out, what I hope is that if I turn to 96 years old, I can look back and have the same kinds of relationships with my family as she had with us. She was able to transcend generational gaps by being adaptive and progressive, and I love it. From these stories and observations, I suspect it's obvious she lived life to the fullest. While that life has ended, I'm very comforted by the thought of her being reunited with her husband Stan, her daughter, my grandma Val, her son Uncle Jim, her siblings Clara, Keith, and Alma, and all the other friends and family to whom she bid farewell during her time on earth. Andy Lang told her it would be a wonderful party, and I'm sure that it was, and continues to be precisely that. The sad